This episode of Pucks Out Podcast is brought to you by our friends over at Action 24/7, Tennessee's only local, legal sportsbook. Use code PUCKS OUT when you make your first deposit, and our friends at Action will give you a 50% boost up to $800. That's right, up to $400 extra when you use code PUCKS OUT. And this week, once again, there are some amazing promos for you. Follow us and Action 24/7 on Twitter and Instagram to find out and keep up to date on all the promos throughout the week. And did you know you can gamble with cash? Are you tired of your sportsbook? You won but can't get your money? No more waiting with Action 24/7. If you want to gamble with cash deposits and withdrawals, get started today with Tennessee's local sportsbook. Check out the link in the show description to find out how. Once again, use code PUCKSOUT, that's PUCKSOUT, when you make your first deposit, and our friends at Action 24/7 will give you a 50% boost on your first deposit up to $800. What are you waiting for?
From the Standing Stone Farm Studio right outside downtown Nashville, it's time for the most ridiculous sports podcast in the world. So sit back, relax, and listen as Bobby Butler and Brandon Bond crack open a cold one and talk all things hockey, pop culture, and complain about everyday situations. It's the Pucks Out Podcast on the Penalty Box Radio Network.
Welcome into the most ridiculous podcast of sports and pop culture. I'm Bobby. He's Brandon.
Hey-o.
You can find us on the three majors of social media at Pucks Out Pod. Now let's crack open this cold Mayday beer and let's get after it. I got the Angry Redhead. I'm
Evil
excited.
Octopus.
Nice.
Evil Octopus for your boy.
I picked up our beer today, and we got this coming up soon. We got a bunch of Angry Redheads and some of the blue Heffenweisen. So I am excited.
Oh, you better split that evenly, bro.
I've already separated it.
Yeah, the Yodelay Blue is my shit, dude. I love that stuff, man. That
it's
stuff
real
is
good.
That stuff is good. But hey,
don't.
What isn't though?
Very true. Pucks Out is powered by Mayday Brewery, the official beer of Pucks Out podcast. Catch them every Tuesday for trivia and every Thursday for bingo. And very soon we will get back in the saddle and host a bingo night. Today we've got news from around the league and outside. We're talking round one review of the Stanley Cup Playoffs and previewing round two. We've got a joke of the week. We're talking Moon Knight and much, much more. Next week, we will have Penalty Box Radio ringside reporter and contributor, Nashville SC public relations, and co-host of the Blue Raider Extra Point and Bleeding Blue podcast, Abigail Martin, guesting for an interview. Super excited to sit down with her and talk all things Nashville sports.
Fantastic writer. When you told me she was coming on, I went and read some of her stuff on Penalty Box Radio, and good stuff. I'm glad it was a good pull. I hope I'm able to be a part of the interview next week. So
yeah. Don't forget to check us out on Patreon to support the show, and check us out over on Twitch where you can find me, and sometime soon we'll add Brandon to the mix. Play some games, talk some hockey, just hang out, drink some beers. Brandon, how you doing this week, bud?
Pretty good, man. Got a busy week coming up. A couple of SC games to be played, but wow, what a first round of hockey, man. I mean,
yeah.
5 game sevens. I mean, just ridiculous. Our playoff pool is going swimmingly. We've never had a first round like this where we are all just still right in it in the running. So,
there was a little bit there where I thought I was running away with it.
We're obviously, I'll talk about this a little more on the fantasy goons. But if Colorado didn't get a sweep, man, I mean, that was dangerous. If the Preds still 2 games there, I mean, you could easily be 450 points right now in that league. But yeah, man, I mean, NBA, moving on, we got some conference finals. Old Luka getting his team there, I saw a funny. I don't know if you saw that funny tweet where, Chris Paul said he was addicted to going to the finals, and somebody was like, "Hey, congrats for Chris Paul beating his addiction, man. That's great." And then you got the Celtics surprised on that, really playing the Heat there. So
yeah,
how did gambling wise, had a pretty okay weekend. Nothing since my big weekend last weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
You win some and you lose some. So what about you, bud?
Oh man, just haven't been betting much, but enjoying all this hockey. It's been absolutely insane. I'm happy the Celtics won. Don't really keep up with NBA playoffs usually until the finals, but I'm glad that we're seeing. I would say seeing some new teams in the mix, but seeing the Celtics and the Heat, though it's not really new teams.
Right, exactly. Yeah, yeah,
Like,
and I mean Dallas on the other side,
yeah,
on the other side of things, and the Warriors. So teams that have all won within a pretty good recent time frame. So,
yeah,
but it's not LeBron James, is I really think what you're out ultimately getting at. Some new faces,
yeah, yeah.
new
New
faces,
faces.
not
Yeah,
new.
young guys are getting their shot now, and I like that.
Absolutely.
I did see that Tom Brady challenged LeBron James to a hockey penalty shootout.
Okay.
Or-
Okay. What
so
goalie we getting in there?
he did not say, but and I can't help but feel like, listen, Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback to ever play it. But LeBron James is still a better athlete all around, I feel like.
It's all about that ice skating skill, though. If LeBron James
Yeah.
doesn't have that, he may not have that balance. But hey, he's a freak athlete. He may already have it in the bag.
Yeah.
So we'll have to do some live coverage of that if it happens.
Yeah, and get some odds on it. Maybe our friends over at Action 24/7 will have odds on that. But all right, let's jump straight into the news.
Everything you need to know about what's happening on the ice. It's time for news from inside the boards.
Winnipeg Jets are interviewing Barry Trotz for job of head coach. I mean, listen, Barry Trotz is going to get a job, not a matter of if, matter of when. He's probably top, in my opinion, he's a top 5 coach in the NHL. The fact that he got fired is a shame.
Absolutely. I mean, he should have never got fired. I mean, I'm not going to be biased at all here, Bobby. I don't think that he's a good hire for the Jets at all, and I think that he would make the team much worse off than they already are. They should just go coachless, I think.
I don't think there's a single team in the Central that he'd be a good fit for.
I mean, I don't think. Look, I
maybe
think
the Preds.
I think the man should, unless he comes back to the Preds. I think the man should retire. If we're just being no, but in all honesty, I mean, what a lot of pieces to work with there. You would be you would be nervous as a Predators fan to see old Barry Trotz coaching up in Winnipeg.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to see it. I can tell you that, but what a steal it would be for Winnipeg. A lot of pieces available up there for him to immediately win, in my mind.
Yeah. And speaking of another coach maybe fired a little bit too soon, Pete DeBoer fired from Vegas after the team missed the playoffs for the first time in franchise history.
It's like 5 years, like 3 coaches. One playoff miss, like it's the most ridiculous, it's the most ridiculous, mind-boggling thing I've ever seen on an expansion team that is this picky.
Yeah. I mean, Seattle wishes they could be this picky right now.
Right. Well, Seattle's gonna, have to go through the lumps like everybody did. I mean, we talked about that difference of
well, not everybody. Vegas is right there.
Hey man, that's really the one expansion team exception in sports, right? I mean, I'm sure we could go back and I'm sure I'm missing some, and we're gonna get blown up on Twitter about it, but I don't know. It's just a little odd to me.
For sure.
A lot of injuries this year for Vegas, a much tougher division. I mean, things happen. I don't know. They were.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Mitch Marner carjacked at knife point. Absolutely insane. I saw this last night on Twitter and stuff. The team came out and they were like, we're sad to announce that we are confirming the story of Mitch Marner being carjacked. They came out like they were announcing someone died. And it's like,
okay.
Is he dead?
No, he's fine. They did make it a much bigger deal than it seemed to have needed to be. But I mean, the bigger problem is there in Toronto, that was just a regular, a regular guy that has 4 jobs. He was just supplementing income so he could live in a, half a bedroom, loft under somebody's stairs. So, I mean, can you really blame the guy? I mean, Mitch, it's a good guy to carjack, right?
I mean, sure. I mean, I don't know. Mitch Marner only makes what, $8 million, so he probably can maybe afford a 2-bedroom in Toronto.
That's true. I guess it's the poor going after the poor in Toronto. There's nothing really different.
Yeah.
Other than I guess Mitch can have a car. That's it. That's the main difference as far as buying.
He's
power.
like, no, that was not just my car; it's also my house.
Why do you think I got such a big car, buddy? He's like, my monthly parking is at least a mortgage.
Speaking of the Leafs, all I have here is the Leafs. LOL. What an absolute unsurprising ending to that first series. I called it. Listen, even though on the Fantasy Goons, I took a lot of Leafs players, the whole time was very confident that they were not. When we were at the last Preds game, we were talking with some Canadian hockey fans, and I think they were like Leafs fans or something like that, and they were giving me shit, and because I was like, the Leafs are not winning a first round series. It's not happening. I was like, listen, enough times. I don't believe in curses and stuff, but when something happens enough times, I no longer see it as a curse. I then see it as a trend.
Yeah.
And so this has become a trend. Like this is no longer a statistical anomaly. It is statistical proof that they are not good in the first round, getting out of the first round.
Now, Bobby, I'm not sure. I can't remember if I really said this, but I know that we don't fact check each other and go back in the past episodes. I know I was at least thinking it. I had Toronto in 6 and you had Tampa in 7, right?
Yeah.
I think I said if it gets to 7 games, Tampa wins.
I think you did too. I'm not going to go back and fact check that, but I'm almost certain that we both agreed that if it goes 7 games, the Leafs are failing.
The Leafs had to win in 6 or less in my mind. Yeah, I mean, and the bracket challenge, we're looking really good, bud. I mean,
I need to go back. I haven't looked at it recently.
I think we're separated after the first round. I think we're separated by like 3 points. And because we both missed a series, you missed the Penguins.
Blues.
The Penguins. We both missed the Blues.
Yeah.
You missed the Penguins and I missed the Leafs. But I think you're beating me because you got, as far as picking the ones with the amount of games, I think it gave points for that.
Okay.
So I think you beat me.
Yeah. I'm pulling it up right now. I'm up by 3 points right now.
Yeah.
But so hey, it's very close.
Pretty good. Yeah. Pretty good shooting, Tex. Both of us. So, we still got that Florida, Colorado championship in mind going.
And I mean, the ones that I have wrong. I mean, I took Pittsburgh in 7. It was Rangers in 7. Right. Then I took Minnesota in 7, and it was St. Louis. So even the ones that were wrong, we were pretty close. I mean, I had Colorado in 5. I thought the Reds could maybe steal 1. At the time, we didn't really know what UC Saros' injury was looking like.
Right.
So,
we'll talk a little bit more about the individual rounds and whatnot.
For sure. Let me go back to I was looking. I was like, BKC. I've been waiting to talk about that. Dustin Brown is officially retired from the NHL after the Kings loss in Game 7. He has now joined the alumni of the NHL. Absolute 18-year career, something like that. Absolutely amazing career.
Ridiculous. Guy. This is, as a fan of the Predators and the future, they're hoping their future is good. That's great news to hear that a up and coming Western Conference contender is losing a great veteran leader. For the fantasy goons, that's much more sombering news because you could always count on going and picking up Dustin, Brown 3 weeks into the season when nobody drafted him because he's old, and now he has like 14 goals. So hey, good for him. He had such a great career, and there were so many times that folks counted him out, and now comes back and has him another terrific season.
100%. All right, that about wraps up news from inside the boards. Let's head to outside the boards.
Now that you know what's happening inside the boards, time for the rest of the headlines with news from outside the boards.
The NBA Conference Finals have been set. Warriors versus Mavericks, Celtics versus Heat. Who do you think's going to be in the finals, and who do you want to be in the finals?
This is tough. I really would love to see game 1 to kind of determine. But I think it's Celtics. I think it's Celtics Warriors. I think it's who it's going to be. As far as want goes, I mean, I'd love to see Luka get one. But Jason Tatum is phenomenal. I wouldn't mind seeing him get one. I honestly, I as much crap as Jimmy Butler gets, I wouldn't mind seeing him win one. I don't want the Warriors to win. I don't want the Warriors to win it. That is the one team that I'd prefer didn't win it. But it's not a deep hatred of this particular team. Like I do some teams. Like, I don't want Alabama to win a national championship. It's more just, hey, if I'm ranking these from 1 to 4, if I'd like to see win it, I guess it'd probably be Mavs, Heat, Celtics, Warriors, and Celtics are also kind of low for me. So.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Celtics Warriors. I would like to see Celtics Mavs. I'd like to see the Celtics over the Mavs. I like Luka, but I can't in good conscience ever root for a Dallas team. It's just not in me. Can't do it.
Okay.
But the Green Bay Packers have a league high 12 national TV games this coming up season. That's a lot of games in prime time. I mean,
yeah,
that's well more than half the season. Do you truly think it's all just because of Aaron Rodgers that they get that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a team that went and won the number 1 seed last year, and they just traded Devontae Adams. What is this team gonna do? Now, I do have a question about the specific wording of national TV games. National TV games is not necessarily the same as primetime games. Is that accurate to say?
Let me look real quick.
Because national TV games could mean that, hey, your team isn't playing at noon, and so everybody in the country outside of the specific market of teams gets to see the Packers play.
According, the Packers have an NFL high game in national television windows in 2022. Any game in prime time in the 3:25 time slot or a standalone nationally televised so they have the prime time slot of 3:25 p.m. or a standalone nationally televised game at the nighttime.
And so I'd like to know the difference in that, because if 8 of these games or 6 of these games are at 3:25, that's not as big of a deal. To me.
So the Packers play the maximum of 5 quote unquote primetime games, which is at 3:25 p.m.
So
and two other standalone games without national competition. Meaning they're the only game on at the time. The Packers only play 4 games starting at noon, and the season finale versus Lions, is to be determined. Flex scheduling could be more or less primetime games based on demand and opponents. Only 3 other teams have as many as 10. The Cowboys with 11, Rams and Chiefs with 10.
Yeah, I mean, you're naming, no, absolutely doesn't surprise me at all. National appeal in Green Bay. I mean, you just named the Dallas Cowboys 10. That's not a team that was,
Yeah.
I mean, they're not, as far as they're the Dallas Cowboys, that's why they're getting.
Yeah, but you see, when the other choices are a team with the most electrifying quarterback in sports, Josh Allen, and you've got another electrifying kid from
Buffalo.
Cincinnati who went to the Super Bowl.
But your problem is your national appeal. Buffalo doesn't have that national appeal. That's all they care about is the more people that will tune into it. We love Josh Allen. He's electrifying because we love football, and it's not just about the Green Bay Packers or that
table salesmen around the country love the Buffalo Bills and love it when they come to town and break all their tables and they have to sell more.
That is fair, but that is a very small demographic because what happens is everybody else that doesn't sell plastic tables hates them. Okay, so you're not bringing in a big enough base to counter the base that you're putting off of your own. But no, it's just not surprising to me. I mean, you named the teams: the Rams, Super Bowl winner, Los Angeles, Kansas City. You got Patrick Mahomes there. That's the guy. Patrick Mahomes is that guy that has stapled his aura and lore into the world. Whereas Josh Allen, has done it a little differently. He's just done it with his legs. He's done it with more grit. He's not the flash that you're going to see from, maybe Patrick Mahomes. I mean, Cincinnati doesn't have a whole bunch, and they were just in the Super Bowl as well.
Now, I will say that as great as this is for Packers fans and, people who want to watch Aaron Rodgers, the downside of this is they have the worst, I guess, ratings for rest days. They have a minus 13 days in the net rest differential relative to opponents, which ranks them the worst mark in the NFL for the year. The schedule is filled with disadvantages for the Packers. In Week 7, the Packers play the Commanders, who play on Thursday night in Week 6, minus 3 days rest. In Week 8, the Packers play the Bills, who have a bye in the Week 7. In Week 10, the Packers play the Cowboys, who have a bye in Week 9.
This is me playing the world's smallest violin, Bobby. I don't care. I don't care. I'm
okay with this. I'm okay. Like, I don't want the Packers to do well.
This is me coming at you for just, what people want me to feel. I want me to feel bad about.
I don't want you to feel bad for the Packers. I want us to point and laugh at the Packers when they end up losing when they have a losing season because they're not on the because they've lost some of their best players and Aaron Rodgers is going to hit that cliff and go right off the cliff.
That ain't happening, bro. Dynasty championship
Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers is washed up. Aaron Rodgers is washed up.
He gonna wash me up on the shore to another 4.
No, I'm pulling a Max Kellerman. He's going off that cliff.
That's all right, man. That's all right. That's all right.
Drew Brees out at NBC after one season. Teases a comeback on Twitter. Some of his former teammates say, though, that this could be a joke. But who knows? Do you think? I mean, how many times we've seen this a lot with players? Jason Witten. I think Brett Favre came back after a small stint. RG3's thinking about coming back. I mean, this is. I mean, they lose. Jason
Witten is a tight
miss
end.
That competitiveness.
Jason Witten is a tight end.
Tom Brady came out of retirement technically.
RG3 is like our age, Bobby. And who was the other that you?
Tom Brady.
You said Brett Favre. You said Brett
Favre.
Oh
yeah.
Brett Favre wasn't really gone that long.
Yeah.
Right. He was like gone for like a little bit and came back.
He just missed being able to show his dick to reporters, I guess.
You don't get when I'm at home on a ranch trying on Wranglers, my my penis can't be seen by other reporters. So yeah, I don't think he's coming back. That's my call.
No, I think and I'll be honest, I don't think he was not as bad as Jason Witten in the booth. 100%. I don't think anybody can be as bad as Jason Witten was. I just don't think he was memorable as a commentator. There was nothing about.
He tried to be too much like Tony Romo, who really got a lot of praise for being able to analyze the situation and bring it to life in a colorful way on the screen. Whereas Drew Brees is he seems so super technically analytic that it like lost a lot of people. Like Tony Romo can kind of like bring you into the fold with him.
Yeah.
So
I feel like what happened. Yeah. I feel like what happened was Tony Romo is naturally charismatic and can kind of blend into that. I feel like Drew Brees read a How to Be Charismatic for Dummies book and tried to just be like, okay,
it was
look at the camera,
seminar.
smile.
Bobby, don't be so rude. It was a seminar run by Mark Zuckerberg. You carry barbecue sauce with you.
Joe Burrow says he won't accept losing this season. Was he accepting losing in the Super Bowl? I'm very confused on like has any quarterback been like, you know what? I'm this is okay. I accept the loss. I am accepting losing this season.
Jim Kelly probably eventually had to come to that conclusion, didn't he? You know, I mean, after 4 in a row,
maybe that's the issue that the Bengals had for the last 10 years is they were like, oh, wait, we're not supposed to be cool with losing?
Hey, everybody, it's good. It's all good. It's all good. Hey, before you move on, you know, since we've been videoing, you know what we haven't been doing? We haven't been showing off the gear, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Well, now's a great time to do it because I'm rocking the Renegades of Puck, the new sweater, the Puck's Out number 69 jersey that you can see on Twitter. Nice.
You know, Middle Tennessee, LeRon Dindy, baby.
Nice.
Let's go. What kind of hat you rocking today? Just a
Pred? Just a little Preds hat. Yeah.
Let's see what I got here. Oh, boom.
Ooh, the Alamo. Actually, right next to me, and I wore it on last night's stream. I've got the Antlers hat from Annapolis.
Nice, bro. Yeah. Nice, bro. Yeah.
I also, right next to it as well, I've got my Duda's pizza.
Oh, I did see you rocking the Dudas the other night.
Yeah.
So I saw that. Hell yeah, bro. See, that's on the how we doing this week. You know, you gotta flex the swag, dude.
Yeah. The fit check.
Yeah.
You
doing good? Right. You doing good?
Yeah. Child, please. All right, let's. Our main topic, obviously, we're talking more Stanley Cup playoffs. We've got our round 1 review, followed up by our round 2 preview. I mean, we've been talking about it. We've had about a week now, maybe 2 weeks. It feels like to kind of digest the whomping Nashville received at the hands of the Avalanche. So coming into this, I had the Avalanche winning it all. I am more confident than ever right now that Colorado is going to just whomp everybody. I think they might go 5 games with St. Louis, but I think they're going to just walk through St. Louis. I think that they're going to. I think they could go 6 games with Calgary in the conference finals.
Yeah. I am not super sold on Calgary at this point. I was a lot more sold before their first round. Not that they played bad. I mean, everybody, 7 games. I really think that I'm tending to agree with you that Colorado is looking worlds above other teams. I'm very, very interested though in whichever party comes out of the Panthers Lightning series.
Yeah,
that to me is gonna set somebody up to be a potential cup winner right there in my mind.
Yeah, I will say this is a great America versus Canada situation. We've got the Battle of Alberta versus the Battle of Florida. Let's see who can out hillbilly each other in this in these matchups. What matchup do you think is going to be better quality for fans? The Battle of Alberta or the Battle of Florida?
Oh, I mean, it's got to be Florida, right? I mean, I think
it depends on what you look for from a fan. I think that the scoring will be more electrifying in Calgary and Edmonton, and I think that there's going to be a lot more fights. I think this is going to be a gritty matchup.
Fights for sure, but you can watch videos on YouTube of that later. My thing is, if I'm going to watch, I want to watch some graceful, great players play some hockey. I'm thinking Panthers
you watch Matthew Tkachuk and Connor McDavid.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I don't know. I get what you're saying, but it's one guy, and I feel like the other side has plethora of guys that I'm looking forward to seeing play.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm being biased because I have Florida winning it, and
Well, I've got Tampa winning. It's going all the way to the championship. So I think the Tampa Florida. I was making jokes about Calgary Edmonton. I think that will be the game, the series to watch.
now
If I had the choice between tuning into these, which luckily we shouldn't because East Coast versus West Coast.
Right.
So I'm actually really happy that we shouldn't have to compete to watch those.
Right.
So I'm just excited to be able to watch both of those.
I'll tell you,
but yeah, I'm excited to watch both of these.
I'm excited to watch both of those, but I am most excited about the Hurricanes Rangers series. Honestly, I feel like this is the same. I feel like we got everything that we could have wanted. We said, what is the series you're most excited to see? And I think we both landed on the Rangers in Pittsburgh. And
yeah,
I
Game 7 overtime.
If you're telling me I could only pick 7 games to watch a series, it would have been those 7 because it was just such a compelling series. So I'm thinking the same thing on the Hurricanes Rangers front.
Yeah.
So interested to see what
100%
there.
So round 2 matchups. Talked a little bit about all of these teams except for Colorado versus St. Louis. Is this a trap game for Colorado?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Blues have been there. They've done it before. Colorado has been sitting for a little bit. I don't think that their competition was as stiff as St. Louis had already played. I think that
I don't know. I think the Preds gave him the run. I think the series was closer than the sweep made it seem.
Well, but no, but I get what you're saying, but it still was only 4 games.
Oh, 100%. I think the them sitting thing is an issue. I think that the Avs saw and are competitors and were able to respect the fact that the Preds pushed them in 2 of the games with a third string goalie in there.
No, Preds brought it. They brought everything that they could bring. They could have stole 1 game. That was probably the only difference that could have happened for them. Don't hear what I'm not saying, but I'm saying the Avs looked great.
Yeah,
because
they were the better team.
They were
by
the
far.
much better team. I don't think that the Blues were the better team. I think that they were the better playoff team in this instance.
Yeah, I think they also got some better bounces, which in the playoffs, that's nothing against the Blues. Part of playoffs is getting the bounces.
Yeah,
I mean, this is playoff hockey, baby.
We're not Blues fans, but it's not their fault. You take the bounces you get.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. They were the better team. I think the Avalanche go through, but I think that we see a 6 or 7 game series. I don't see any way around it.
I think I could say I don't see 7. I see 5 or 6.
Okay.
I think that even with St. Louis's experience, their talent, I
think St. Louis steals game 1. I think St. Louis steals game 1.
I think they steal game 2. I think that Colorado, these are too good of players to fall into the trap.
Right.
I think they get a dominant game 1 win, and then St. Louis comes back and wins game 2 in overtime.
Well, so that game is tonight. That could be game of the week number 1 right here.
Yeah. Let's jump in now to our joke of the week.
The weird. Corey Perry. See, I don't like this. Wild. I think the first read was a good one. Now I'm overthinking it. Outlandish.
Each 6th chick sat on a stick. Little tongue twister.
And downright dumb.
Kidding me.
It's time for the joke of the week.
All right, you got this one. I've read this before. I saw this all over Reddit and Twitter already, and this was really funny.
All right. Goodwill find in Texas turns out to be ancient Roman bust. I'm just confused of how this could ever happen.
Oh, I know how this happens. Stupid people. That someone probably died. They probably thought this was some bullshit, knockoff, and they just, from their grandma's house and just do it into the trash or do it into Goodwill.
$35. Like, I mean, that's some craftsmanship if it went through like some Goodwill type stuff. Let's see it once belonged to the King Ludwig the First of Bavaria. I'm just like, so this has been in like some pretty prominent people's hands. How did it? That's what I'm wondering. I didn't read the article, so you've seen it. Do you know more about it than me? Because how did it?
Okay, sorry. When I say I've read it, I've read the headline a couple times in passing by.
Okay.
Okay, so the sculptor was last seen in Aschenberg, Germany, and experts believe a soldier took the sculpture and brought it to the United States. I'm assuming during World War II.
I'm going to stop asking questions. I'm stirring up more. I should have read the article. No, what a joke though, right? Like, I mean, I guess like it doesn't look that cool if we're being honest. But like,
yeah, it's just like a dude. And it's not even, the best thing is it's not even a bust of someone famous. It's a bust of someone's famous son.
Yeah, but to be fair, it is a marble. So like $35 for like marble bust doesn't seem correct. And we keep saying bust. Let's go with statue because I mean I'm feeling weird about saying the bust. We're just talking about the big.
I mean, it's not a statue though. Like when if it's a like it's a bust. It's like a Hall of Fame bust. Like a bust is not just tits. I mean, it's a bust. That's the proper term for this.
I understand, but we don't have a mature group of followers, Bobby. Like,
but we actually have video now. So like right down here somewhere, I'll actually put a picture of it.
Put a bust. Okay. Well, then we're set.
Yeah.
Then we'll talk.
And by that, it'll be a pair of tits. I'll put a pair of tits.
You're really effing me in the A here, Bob.
I'll put the clip from Eastbound and Down right below me.
Perfect. That is it. That's all
everyone who's watched that show knows the exact scene I'm talking about.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm in. I'm back on
board. We were very pleased that a piece of Bavarian history that we thought was lost has reappeared and will soon be able to return to its rightful location. How much more American can it get than not only taking spoils of war, but then those spoils of war wind up at Goodwill?
Right. Hey, hey buddy.
Like, this is nothing. I mean, they just, if they liked it, why'd they let it get blown up in some grenade?
Why'd they let me steal it if they loved it so much?
And they could have told me no. They kept saying this word at 9. Like, oh, I could take 9 of them. I only see 1. What's the big deal?
There's only 1, buddy. You go ahead and get on out of here. Get on out of here. I'm taking this bust here. And also this statue.
She got really lucky that it wasn't like, because it could have been a bust of something completely different. It could have been like, I don't know who this, he's got like a little teeny mustache under his nose. I don't know who this German guy is.
They love him. They love him. She starts displaying it in her house. All her friends abandon her.
She's like, yeah, I found this marble bust of Charlie Chaplin at the Goodwill. How crazy is that? But she was like, and also like there was a bunch of memorabilia with it. They were big fans of the game Wolfenstein, I guess. I don't know.
I also am with them though. So
yeah,
I got all that memorabilia.
Well, why don't we take that and why don't we change topics a good bit? Brandon, why don't you tell us about our friends over at Manscaped?
Let me tell you, support for Pucks Out Podcast is brought to you by Manscaped, whose below the waist grooming is top notch. Their products are precision engineered tools for your family jewels. I mean, look, AC/DC Family Jewels is one of the greatest rock DVDs ever, and so just for them having that in as a part of their literature that they gave us shows that they know quality. I'm telling you, I love the Lawnmower 4.0. The dogs, they're barking in the background because they love it too. They're the waterproof technology. We talk every time about the little bitty light. Oh man, that is quality gear. Support, like I said, support brought to you by Manscaped. using the code PUCKSOUT. That's PUCKSOUT. That's 20% off, free worldwide shipping with that code. They have joined over 4 million men who have trusted Manscaped worldwide. That's 4 million men. So that's 8 million balls, give or take, plus or minus a few. Lance Armstrong, he probably uses Manscaped. I mean, I don't know that he does. That's just me as one podcaster's opinion. I'm just telling you, it's just something you got to get on board with. I still haven't bought my, what is it? The cologne. I want to try that.
Oh, yeah.
You bought a new product pretty recently. What did you snatch?
So I got the body wash and the shampoo and conditioner. It's absolutely amazing. And
said you switched your whole game up, right?
I changed everything up. And I got the email right before we started recording. The Boxers 2.0 is out now with the jewel pouch. And they come in different designs straight from Manscaped Labs to your lads. The redesigned Boxers putting the groin first. It's got the jewel pouch with to support the gems, a dedicated space that cradles the balls in place with a perforated performance fabric for maximum breathability. No more rolls, perfectly snug, seamless fit. Their satin jacquard waistband. That sounds fancy as fuck. Hugs your body without digging in. Ultra smooth anti-chafing miracle. Super fly guy in more ways than one. The convenient front fly opening is not only stylish, but gives you easy access for bathroom breaks. And it comes in a bunch of different styles. They've got the Golden Nugget, the Kingpin, the Nighthawk, the El Jefe, the Midnight Bravo, and the Silver Fox.
That's dope names.
Get yourself a 3-pack, and I know I'm packing. Are you?
That's a weird question to ask me, Bobby. So I'm just gonna go and just move us right out of this so we can talk about.
Are you getting the 3-pack? Obviously.
Yeah. Oh. Then probably so. But seriously, support for Pucks Out Podcast is brought to you by Manscaped. 20% off worldwide shipping using the code Pucks Out. That's PUCKSOUT. What are you waiting for?
Yeah. But all right, time to jump into our pop culture. We're talking Moon Knight. Listen, there might be some spoilers in here, so if you want to skip it, I will put the time for when you can skip to down in the description, or just keep pressing that 10-second button until you get to a spot that maybe, hey, you know what? If you're feeling lucky, maybe just hit it a couple times and maybe you won't have spoilers. But maybe gamble a little bit. Maybe you will get some spoilers. We'll see how happens. Let's see how lucky you are.
There will be spoilers.
Yeah. So you finished the series, I'm assuming?
Finished her up.
I liked it a lot. It was really good.
It was awesome.
I loved it.
I think one of the things that when you're remembering when me getting into the Marvel world universe, and it was a perfect opportunity. It's, they're quality films. And so even though I haven't been big into comic books, it was a perfect opportunity with the podcast. But one thing that I told you was I love the Thor. I love I love the lore of things that we already had on Earth that they've incorporated into this world. So the absolute incorporation of Egyptian gods and the history behind that was awesome. Everything. Yeah. I loved almost everything about it. It started very slow. Stephanie was a little bored early on into the game, but about probably towards the end of episode 2, I think that she was getting a lot more into it. I loved it. I was a big fan.
Oh yeah. It was really good. I wish there was more, and I'm really happy that there's going to be a second season.
Right.
Oscar Isaac is the perfect casting for that role.
He did.
I could not see a better casting. And to go off, well, have you seen Doctor Strange yet?
I haven't yet. No.
All right. I really want to talk about that eventually. So go see that. But this was, I absolutely loved it. The acting was great. The writing was fantastic. The name of the writer escapes me right now, but he did an absolutely I know it's an Egyptian writer, I believe. He did an absolutely amazing job.
Rami Malik. Probably not.
Um,
Probably not.
the woman who plays Scarlet Scarab, I want to
Mhm.
say is the name of the hero, did an
that's
amazing
correct.
job. And Ethan Hawke, oh my god, Ethan Hawke absolutely killed it. My wife was like, I really don't like Ethan Hawke.
Is this embarrassing that this is the first time I've even like put it 2 and 2 together that it was Ethan Hawke? I just wasn't even
Really?
thinking about it. Yeah, I just wasn't even thinking about
Wow.
it. You know, I always think of like Ethan Hawke on like Training Day. You know what I'm saying? Like I just
Yeah.
wasn't even like.
Yeah. Well, so he actually has another movie coming out soon. And so anyway, my wife was like, I'm not a big fan of Ethan Hawke. I was like, why not? He's amazing. She's like, he's just like, he rubs me the wrong way. He always plays a villain and he's just kind of a dick. I'm like, well, because he plays a good villain. I'm like, he probably doesn't
But also
always play a
Training
villain.
Day. But also Training
But then I pulled up his IMDb and I'm like, okay, maybe he does play a villain a good bit. But you know what?
But if she dislikes
he's really
him,
good.
But if she dislikes
that's
him,
a good
that's
thing.
a good thing. Like if he's a villain, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, you shouldn't like.
And it's not
go on his Facebook.
Yeah, and it's not like
anything,
it's not like he's getting typecast as a very specific type of villain. He just plays a good bad guy, but he also has roles where he's not a bad guy either. I mean, Ethan Hawke just kills it. Perfect for that role.
Yeah.
I think Tawati, the hippo.
Yeah.
Tawati.
Yeah.
Oh, that was amazing.
That was cool. The CGI was.
Yeah, they the introduction. I told him, you know, when we at one point when they're in like their mind and then we see the third sarcophagus start to shake, I'm like, oh, there's gonna be another one. She's like, what do you mean? I don't think so. There's just 2. I'm like, no. First off, I know the comics. Moon Knight has a lot more than 3 personalities. I think he has upwards of like 22 personalities inside of him.
Right? Don't they?
Or some
all,
crazy thing?
Yeah. Don't they all know about each other though? Right? Like in comic lore.
Later, in the comic, he's been Moon Knight for such a long time that yes, they all know about each other. This is kind of starting off in the beginning where they start to learn about each other. But yeah, Jake Lockley, and I told her, I was like, listen, I knew that there was 3 in there from almost the beginning because Lockley is a ruthless son of a bitch who will just cause devastation. And in that scene in the first episode where they try to take the scarab out of his hand and he just fucking destroys everybody and is covered in blood.
Yeah.
That is not a Mark Spector thing. Mark Spector would have done it in a lot more calm and collected way.
Right.
That's a Lockley thing. That's the way he dealt with that situation was a Lockley thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm loving it. I'm a big fan of kind of the the lore and what this is going to be allowed to bring in.
Yeah.
Really. Honestly, I thought that I'll tell you one thing I thought early on was the guy in the suit, whichever god, the avatar the guy in the suit was in. I was like, that guy's definitely involved in it.
Oh, Osiris.
Yeah. Yeah. But then I was like, oh no, he's just being kind of.
Yeah, well, Osiris is like in Egypt, and now again, this is a very bastardized, fictionalized version of Egyptian, because in real Egyptian, mythology, Khonshu is a very, very minor deity. He's not one of the major gods,
right?
At least from my research. So obviously they kind of elevate him a little bit to bring him up. Whereas Osiris is like the main
right
god.
Well, that's the way I thought it was. I mean, it did make it seem like Khonshu was more minor, but like had like a task or whatever. But
well, in this they put Khonshu on like the the name escapes me, but like in the picture on the museum with like the 9 gods or something like that, they put Khonshu on that. Khonshu's not part of that,
right?
Whatever it's called, the name escapes me. But beside all that, listen, sure. I have no problem with them taking, liberties with mythologies and stuff. It was very entertaining. And I'm so excited to watch more of this. The fight choreography was amazing. That final fight scene between the gods and then, Ethan Hawke's character and Moon Knight. I loved the Moon Knight suit, the casual suit, Stephen Grant suit.
Oh yeah,
that was
absolutely
dope. That was really cool.
It was.
They showed some like other stuff, like some what's it called, the early art and some of it was really cool. It was almost looked like Assassin's Creed style almost with some of the suits.
That's cool.
But yeah, there's a lot they can do with this, and I'm super excited to see where this goes. Anything else you want to add on before we move on?
No, loved it. I'm glad we watched it. I'm glad we got to discuss it today. But I'm looking forward to what more it has to bring.
Quick fact, and you at home can make the decision if it's fun or not. When I believe in episode 2 or 3, when Mark Spector is chasing the those like teenagers through Egypt and stuff, and the guy who falls off who he's grabbing on and falls. Do you remember that scene?
Mm-hmm.
On the back of his jacket is actually a symbol of Kang the Conqueror. That's a little Easter egg that like only people who know the comics. So obviously that's making it canon that some point if you connect the dots, that Kang the Conqueror is making moves and inserting himself into the world in probably slight ways. And the way he did it was he didn't say, I'm Kang the Conqueror and I'm your god. He would be like, I'm, this I'm
god
this or like I'm controlling this mafia boss, or I'm these things that the people worship or adore or look up to. He inserts himself in that position to gain followers and stuff in ways. So I saw that and I paused it and I did a quick Google and I confirmed what I thought. All right, let's move on to this or that.
This is your question.
Time to cast your vote. Vote your cast. Choose your pick. Pick your choice. Make a decision and take a side for this or that.
All right. I don't know how I thought of this question. It just came to me. But if you had to only watch the movies of one Mr. Kevin Costner or Kevin Bacon for the rest of your life, whose movies would you watch? It's hard. It's hard.
It has to be Kevin Costner to me.
Yeah, I mean,
I just feel like there's just so many more solid.
I feel like, I was gonna say because I think with Kevin Bacon, you have quantity. I believe it's a quantity versus quality thing in this because everyone knows about the 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
So you could, if you're watching.
So Kevin Bacon has,
but he's been in so
credits. Well, he has 102 credits. Kevin Costner has 65. I think it's more of the 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon is based on the fact that like he's been in such big projects that had so many people that branched off for. But I don't know
for sure. Yeah.
I mean, I could barely tell. I mean, Footloose. I know. But I couldn't tell you a lot of Kevin Bacon movies.
Tremors. I know
Never
Space Oddity. X-Men First Class. I'm trying to think of what else. I might need to pull the thing up, and I know like once I see some more, I'll be like, this.
Field of Dreams. I mean,
yeah. Now, Hollow Man is a solid movie.
Robin
Again,
Hood,
and when I
say,
well, that's Kevin Costner.
Yeah, no, I'm reading.
I was reading you. Sorry,
challenging you.
Yeah, no, listen. Now, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves is one because that's my favorite Robin Hood. I'm a huge Robin Hood fan.
The Guardian.
The Prince of Thieves is what could tip the scales for me. And I haven't made a decision either way. I think I'm going to go. I think I would go with Kevin Costner because he's also in
Yellowstone,
Man of Steel. Well, I wouldn't. He's in the Hatfield McCoys.
Yeah, Hatfield and McCoy. I was about to say Hatfield McCoys. Hey, also he has an uncredited voice line for Jonathan Kent and Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Well, and he was in Man of Steel and the other ones and some of the other one as well. And
there we go.
He was also in was he in Tombstone? No, he wasn't in Tombstone, was he?
He was in Jack Ryan.
He was in Wyatt Earp. He played Wyatt Earp in the Wyatt Earp movie. But another one and probably the greatest movie of all time, Waterworld, obviously.
Never seen it.
It is. I mean, Waterworld is known as probably the biggest flop in movie history.
Okay.
Which is crazy because you know what? I liked it. So fun. Another little fact about Waterworld. When they came out with Waterworld, they wanted Waterworld to be the next big fantasy
Right.
epic. They spent so much money on it. They were like, this is gonna go 6, 7, 8 movies.
Right.
It lost more money in movie than any other movie in history, and still, when you account for inflation, has lost more money than any movie ever. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Field of Dreams. I don't know if you already said that.
Yeah, I did. The Untouchables. I mean, I think it's easy.
Yeah.
I think that common memory makes you want to pick Kevin Bacon, and that's why you think it's hard initially. But Kevin Costner is just, in my opinion, on a different level. Unless we include that Kevin Bacon commercial where he's pretending to be a fan, talking about how much of a big fan he is of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah. Now, let me throw in another Kevin for you. Kevin Nealon. A lot of good comedies from Kevin Nealon.
Kevin Nealon, is that Doug from Weeds?
Maybe. I don't think I ever saw Weeds. He's from Grandma's Boy. He's in a lot of Adam Sandler stuff. Yeah, he was in Weeds.
I mean, yeah.
Little Nicky. I mean, you're pretty much getting all of Adam Sandler.
He's good.
If you take with Kevin Nealon.
He's fine, but I mean,
you got a bunch of Saturday Night Live as well.
Nah, I'm taking
Yeah.
Kevin Costner. It's the best Kevin. And now, if you said Kevin James, I'm back out. I'm into Kevin. I'm into some Kevin James, dude. King of Queens, too funny.
Yeah. But all right, let's move into what are you binging? This show on Netflix I started last night called Bullshit with Howie Mandel. It's a trivia game show where if you know the answer, you get the money and you move on to the next question. If you don't know the answer, you just have to act like you know the answer, and there are 3 people across from you. If you can convince just one of them that you know it, you move on even if you bullshit it. And it was actually pretty cool because you're watching these people I was like, oh yeah, that guy's bullshit. And they're like, no. And the way it works is that if you're one of the people across from them, whenever the person who's supposed to be bullshitting goes out, gets eliminated, if they call bullshit and all 3 people call bullshit, whoever's the most accurate up to then goes up and has their turn to win the $1 million.
Okay.
And it's actually pretty entertaining. Howie Mandel's kind of cheesy, kind of cringy, but it's pretty funny and pretty good kind of watching people try to bullshit their way through a bunch of questions. But yeah, what about you?
Moon Knight. I mean, I've been rushing through that. Obviously, I said, Steph and I have been watching Breaking Bad, been catching her up on that. Halo, still, you got to get on that. I watch your
gotta get on that, yeah.
Halo has been pretty good. But the real answer, I just can't say it every week and every time we do this is we own this city. Part 4 came out, bro. It is so good, man. It is so good.
Yeah.
So I've been watching a bunch of that, but what's snapping your? Let's go. Let's snap.
Let's go into what's snapping your stick.
Let's tell the folks.
Bobby and Brandon are about to find out exactly what snaps their sticks.
All righty. Mine this week, small groups of fans ruining it for everyone. Whether it's Milwaukee Bucks fans shooting up the place, possibly causing them to no longer allow alcohol to be served and walked around with publicly out in the area outside the arena, to Leafs fans getting into fights with each other because they're being assholes and being Leafs fans after and they're bad losers. I will say though, the Leafs one, obviously not nearly as bad as shootings. I'm not going to make any jokes about shootings. We'll make fun of you, Leafs fans. This dude did not want to get in a fight. I don't know. Apparently this drunk kid kind of yelled at this older guy. Older guy kind of told him to shut up or whatever. The kid came after the older guy, and the kid throws a haymaker. The dude in one motion decides, all right, if he's fighting, I'm fighting. Takes his shirt off while ducking, causing the kid to hit the wall behind him. Takes the shirt off in a power move and decides, you know what? I'm not going to fight. And just fucking dances around this kid with this kid just missing all these punches. Eventually, this kid's friends try to get him to stop, and he goes up against his friends, and then he gets his like ass kicked by his friends.
Man,
and apparently that was all over Toronto and areas after the Game 7 loss.
I mean, in my
and
opinion, let
it's
them
just-
get it out. Let them get it out. They're not.
Yeah, but at the same time, listen.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm just messing.
If you want to fight, don't do it in the arena because you're going to catch a ban. Second, and we know, and you pay now. Again, if you're in Toronto, you're probably saving a bunch of money by not being able to buy tickets anymore.
I was about to say,
But
get banned, and then
but
you're like,
I have seen.
Can't go. I'm sorry.
I have seen all too often with fights in the stands and in the hallways, and that bystanders getting accidentally involved, whether it's an errant punch or somebody gets thrown into a kid. If you want to fight, by all means, I'm all for people fighting. Take it out into the street where you're not going to ruin somebody's day. Like, if you want to ruin your own damn day, I'm all for it, man. But don't ruin somebody else's day because you're drunk or because you want to, take your anger out on something.
Matt, I'm with you.
What you got?
Money line on soccer tournament games being displayed is very disingenuous. I had the money line when the Preds, when the Nashville SC played United in the FA Cup. Well, there can't be any ties, but they had the money line, and then the tie, and then the Atlanta's money line. But they didn't advertise it as a 90-minute line. And so when they went in tied, I had the SC money line. Well, they won the game. But they said because after 90 minutes and when it went into extra time, I didn't win. It was a draw. It was a draw.
I don't like that.
Nah, I was like, nah, bro.
Was that by any
not
chance
fair.
with Action? Because we can send an email and ask them to kind of
No.
reword it. Okay.
No. I mean, but
Yeah.
even
So what you're saying is what you should make your bets with Action because they are upfront with their stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's more of a, hey, don't bet soccer if you're, because you're going to lose. They're going to find a way for you to lose soccer bets.
But all right, guys, have a great week. We'll see you next week. Brandon is going to be out of town. He'll try and make it in for the show. We should be able to record.
I'm going to be good for the show.
He's going to be good.
I'm going to be good for the show. It may be I might have to miss the Abby Martin interview.
Yeah.
Sunday, I think we're going to be able to record on Sunday. So I'll be here for the show for sure.
But all right, guys, for Brandon Bond and Bobby Butler, stay awesome. We'll see you next week.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Pucks Out Podcast. To see what other ridiculousness the guys are up to, check them out on Twitter and Instagram @PucksOutPod.